This isn't something I'd usually talk about, but something keeps telling me to talk about it. Usually I would talk about cryptocurrency or something else. I'm getting back into the mood. I think the energy in the atmosphere, war with Ukraine, the economic situations, all kind of stuff is just heavy. And I have a lot of angles that I want to talk about these things from. And I think this is just leading back into it. But my brain is like a filter. So if I sit on a concept long enough, or if something keeps coming back to my brain, like repeatedly, and I'm not trying to notice it, something's there. Like a lot of my friends will tell me, remember when you said such and such and I didn't believe you? Well, that happened, or you were right. And it's not about being right. It's just, I think it's pointing out the obvious. We're just trying to get a heads up on things. And in this case, I think one of the biggest pop stars in the world is no longer with us. Why do I think that? So you may care, you may not. I don't know. But it's something to think about. So Britney Spears, gone 13 years in the conservatorship. So she had no power over anything in her life, including her own life. She couldn't even bear life. She couldn't have kids. Didn't have the authority to make that happen. All her rights were stripped for 13 years. And she's worth a fortune. Her dad had full power of attorney over everything. When it came to her music, her career, her life decisions, all of that. And 2021, last year, she was released off of the conservatorship. Now, where is she? So I told a couple of my friends, and I said, hey, I have this wild theory. I think Britney Spears is dead. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? She just got married. I said, you know what? I haven't looked into it too much. Because these hunches, they just really come. They just really hit me. And then when I start looking into it, I'll like go down a rabbit hole and it'll all start coming together and conclusive evidence that it may be right. So I was like, I just threw the concept out, very little research. And I said, bro, I don't think you can convince me. He said, well, here's her recent wedding picture. I said, where's the wedding dress? So in 2021, last year, when she got released off the conservatorship, she got married. A guy named Sam Asghari. And he's a low pro guy. Nobody really knows who he is. Supermodel kind of looking guy, possibly a distraction. They got married in secret. Now, Britney's dad and Sam, according to the media, they don't get along. I think they do. I think that the 13 years that Britney's been gone, I think the husband and Britney's dad has been developing a timeline of Britney's life over the past 13 years to distribute on social media and other media outlets for maybe another 13 years and make it seem like she is alive. I think that she was being abused, taken advantage of, and may have accidentally, maybe something happened to her. Maybe she died on accident. I don't know if she was murdered. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody even came out and said, oh, she overdosed or whatever, as a cover-up. Because the fact is, where is she? So she went on vacation with her husband a few months ago. Okay. I told my friend, I said, hey, I think Britney's dead. He Googled it. He was like, what are you talking about? There's nothing that's saying she's dead. She just bought a dog. I said, where's the dog? It's just Britney. It's a picture of Britney from 5 years ago. She has a audio that she sent to the court. And my friend said, yeah, she was in court when they released her off the conservatorship. I said, have you seen the documentary? I said, no. I said, but I don't believe she was in court. Show me. Showed me the documentary. Well, fast forward, I'm going to watch the whole thing, fast forwarded to the end. And it was an audio that she sent to the court. She had a lawyer representing her on her behalf. It was very interesting because she was reading something and it was expressing her dissatisfaction and how she was kind of being abused in the situation and so on and so forth. Now, I think this is well planned. I think it's a timeline. I think that even the dad and the husband are so in alignment with this whole thing. It's just a theory, but I think it's so in alignment that they even made her express some dissatisfaction to make it realistic for when she quote unquote gets off the conservatorship and free and able to make decisions, because they know nobody can come out of that happy, ecstatic. So you have to express some kind of disdain for it because it's realistic. So I think, and Britney's husband, supposedly will take little jabs at the dad saying he doesn't like him, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny because they got married last year, she got off the conservatorship. It's kind of interesting. So what does that mean? If anything happens to her, does he have power over her estate? If it looks like the dad no longer has power or say over Britney's fortune, her merchandise, everything that she is, that relationship with the husband and the dad is still there. It's still being managed. In fact, the management company that Britney Spears is under, that manages her social media and her presence online, they don't have any other artists. It's only Britney. I've never heard of them. I mean, I've been in the music industry for a while. They even removed some things from their website that was very questionable. I emailed them. They took it down. I screenshot it. I have everything. Just sometimes I just go back and I look and I'm like, when I have a hunch, something's there. Like, I can't prove this, but something's there. I keep thinking about it. It's not like the biggest issue in the world, is it? It's kind of odd that one of the biggest pop stars in the world, like imagine, what if it was true? None of what I'm saying is not real. This is, where is she? We don't know. But that would be interesting. It would show how blind the world is. What if one of the biggest pop stars in the world literally was murdered? Power over her estate was being forced into the hands of these men managing her timeline of life that we think is still here based on that aggregated content that they've been working on for the past 13 years. And it was all fake, all a facade. None of it was real. And the whole world's watching. Are we that blind? Like, these things weren't hard for me to put together. But every time I tell one of my friends, just to kind of test out, like, the theory, they don't know what to say. They're like, you're right. Where's the wedding dress? So, I think that anything that comes from her mouth was directly given to her. Like, she had a strict set of instructions to follow from everything she did to what she said to even the drugs she took. I think she was forced to take the drugs. I think that she was forced to say certain things, even if it made the dad or whoever look bad, just to make it more realistic. And I think she obsequiously followed for some reason. And I'm not convinced she's alive. And that's weird to me. Because if we can't notice things, even if it's not true, but all this stuff is questionable. And even though the theory seems kind of out there, what part of it is not real? Like, what can you say? Where is she? So if we can't point out the obvious, how are we going to point out things that are not so obvious? You know, I look at the economy, and I read an article today in a newspaper. Violence has escalated in the United States. It's at an all-time high. Which is interesting because of war in Ukraine, the truckers in Canada. The social atmosphere seems to adapt itself in all environments and circumstances at the same time because we're all related. Everything is one. And I noticed that this happens a lot, but nobody really pays attention. So it's not a coincidence. This is our environment and the race suggestion, a reflection that's giving itself to us to show us how we are, who we are. This stuff is not an accident. Humans literally undermine what's important. We blow shit out and we don't discuss anything that's important unless it serves the ego a lot of times. And we got history books that prove that time and time again. So it's just interesting. I know this is a weird thing to talk about, but I don't know, it's just been on my mind. But I'm gonna get back, dropping some episodes. I got some crypto information. I got some blockchain technology I want to go over. I have some stablecoin news. I read a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't. It takes hours at times. I'm really fascinated by it. Government articles, court documents from Congress. Like, I do have a lot of strong feelings and intuition that brings me a lot of valuable information, which I really surprised how people are responding so well to it and talking to me about it. And I don't know, it just surprised me because I'm really fascinated by certain things. And when other people like talking about it with me, I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. I'm doing something right. But I have some new episodes coming. But yeah, this is an interesting thing. This world is interesting. This people are interesting. Where's the wedding dress?